Hi everyone, this is EstaRa with a message for you today. I want to apologize I didn't get to put a message out this week earlier. I had left a message last week with my 2 videos that I wouldn't be around until midweek of this past week. However, unfortunately, it is Saturday, July 30th that I'm giving this message out. I got to tell you, I went down to Philadelphia. The Democratic National Convention was happening here in the United States, and I was participating in the protests and the rallies down there for Bernie Sanders. He is the president representative of my choice. However, he did not win the nomination, but I was out there protesting, leading marches as a light worker that I am. So I feel the need to share this with all of you because it really has transformed a lot. You know, it's given me insight and vision into some things that are going on, and I'm really excited about it. So, you know, as a twin flame, I have been on this journey to spread love. And I remember back in 2011, I got the very clear message that my job was to spread love. And I took it literally at times. So I started this page on Facebook that you're welcome to join if you're interested in. It's called the Spread Love Campaign. And I actually have to update a little bit more because I haven't done it in a while. But it is it's a page where I got very clearly guided to spread love. So back in 2011, when I returned from Egypt, I was working out of an office in New York City, and I worked in New York once a week up until my car accident of 2013. And when I was working there, I would stay overnight at this center, and really wonderful soul had a room for me to stay in. And so I would go in, teach meditation at night, and then I would do readings the next day and sessions. But in the morning, I would get up and I'd go for a walk across the street, and I would walk by the river and in the park. And I saw this little child with white rock and drawing something on the pavement. And I thought, oh, how cool is that? And I remember I would see hearts everywhere. And that is always a sign to me, finding hearts in rocks, finding hearts in nature, finding hearts everywhere I go. And that's always a sign that I'm on the right path and love is here. And so when I was in New York City, I remember sitting on the bench and I looked down and I saw a heart on the pavement. But it wasn't like a made heart. It was actually like an accidental tar-made heart. And I thought, wow, that's amazing, and that's so beautiful, and how much happiness it brings me. And I thought, wow, if I can bring happiness, if I can feel happiness by seeing that, I can feel love, then what if I brought love to everyone like that? So what I ended up doing is I reached out to Spirit and said, well, how can I do this? And I was walking down the path, and I would say good morning to people in New York, and not one person would really say good morning. I mean, most of the time they would like look away. And I was like, okay, well, that's not going to happen. So I thought, if I can make that happen, what would I do? So I took a piece of chalk with me on my walk, and I started drawing hearts, and I write the word spread love, or love is the answer, or love is here. And I started doing that. And so I did that with the intention of spreading and anchoring love. And as I did that, then I was walking down the sidewalk, and I got to the end, and I started turning around to come back. Well, on the way down, I'd say good morning, and nobody would say anything. On the way back, almost every person acknowledged my presence. They smiled at me, or they said hello. And I thought, wow, that's incredible, like unbelievable. So my intention was to spread love through chalk. So if you have some chalk, go ahead, grab some chalk and spread some love. You can write Twin Flame Love. I've gone to beaches and I've written Twin Flame Union. I wrote, you know, reunion or twins. You know, I wrote a lot of stuff like that as well as spread love. But I'm telling you this because our intention is what really matters. And if I can have the intention to spread love and bring it into the New York City sidewalk that I was on, then I can spread love any other way, and I can bring my intentions to the forefront. And that was like a trigger this morning for me to do this video and share it with all of you, because a lot of times we get stuck in the fear, the negativity, and oh my God, what if, how come? And I'm very guilty of it. I had a very incredible weekend last week, actually 5 days, 6 days, and it was like amazing. And you know, gosh, I want to share so much with you. I don't even know where to fully begin. But what I want to say is, the city of brotherly love. Philadelphia is known as a city of brotherly love. Wow, isn't that the most biggest intention? I've got it. It sounded terrible with my English. Isn't that the most wide intention we've ever seen? Like, the intention is the city's called the city of brotherly love, and so they manifested that as the true intention. So when I was in Philadelphia, everyone was friendly, everyone was kind. I looked a little lost on their bus routes, and the person was like, "Oh, I can help you," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to get off, blah blah blah," and she's like, "Oh, I'm getting off there too. Let me show you. I'll take you with me, or I'll go with you." That is like unbelievable. I live in Connecticut, and that doesn't happen. Okay, that very, very infrequently happens. If you approach me, I'll probably help you and do the same thing. But most of the time in Connecticut, we don't do that. Even in New York, I've not noticed that so much. But in Philadelphia, it really, truly is a city of brotherly love. They intended it. They call it that. The intention and the manifestation happens. That is just so powerful, and I hope all of you can understand how important intentions are, especially when you're an energy healer, especially when you're on this path to union, especially when you're a light worker. Your intention really does matter. And I'm bringing all of this up for that one huge manifestation, but also to kind of share a little bit about my journey there. So I really believe it is the time of love, and the time of light, and the time of unions coming together, because when I was in Philadelphia, I met so many people from all around the country and the globe. I mean, from other countries where they're representing as well. And talking with everyone, they were incredible. They were just so loving and so warm, and I really felt like I felt my family, and I found them. For a long time, as a light worker, it feels kind of lonely, and it feels like we need to be removed from things that are really human, really, removed from things that are, I'm not sure how to word it, but like things that are very human based, like government and stuff like that. And, my background actually is in politics. I have a degree in political science, and I worked in various ways with campaigns, and worked in the state capitol here in Connecticut. So having all of that as my background, when I left it, because so much money was being dumped in, and it was becoming darker and not so good, and it was physically affecting me, because being an empath, I get affected by everything. I left because I was sick and I wanted to live. And so I left that whole world. And when I left TV, I left media. I didn't watch anything anymore. I didn't stay connected that way at all. I delved right into my spirituality, but like deeply into spirituality. And delving deeply into spirituality was beautiful, but it also made it so that I stayed far away from the human aspect and became really spiritual. For me at the time, that's exactly what I needed, because I needed to recoup, rejuvenate, recharge, and then reconnect to spirit and reconnect to EstaRa, the aspect of me that is my powerful side, that is my truth. And in doing that, I could never have done that unless I pulled away from everything I knew. And in doing that, though, I did pull away, and I didn't pay attention, didn't watch everything, didn't see what was happening. And, until this year, until like last year, actually, 2015, until my guides woke me up every single night for about, I don't know, I think 3 weeks straight, every night at 3 o'clock in the morning, channeling information to me about Bernie Sanders, and getting all this information. And I created a group online called Lightworkers for Bernie Sanders. That's Facebook. So if you're interested, if that's something you're interested in, please find me there. I'm there. You'll see pictures from our protests, our march, and our rally. And you'll meet other amazing souls on this journey. And so I kept getting the messages and the information. And as I was getting the messages and information, by the way, I just saw a hummingbird come to my window, because I have this red flower in my window. It's not outside, it's inside, and it always comes to my window. Kind of cool. Good message. It's about joy and abundance. But I am totally in another world right now. So when I created this group, I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew that this was my mission. And I know that I never understood, why did I go to politics? I knew why. I chose political science because I wanted to change the world, and I thought that the only way that I could was the way I learned in school, and that was through government. And so I joined, I went to school for that, and I joined like different organizations that represented what I believed in. I did protesting when I was in college. I did a lot of stuff when I was younger, and I was always wondering, well, why, like years later, I'm doing my spiritual work, and this is who I am. I feel really comfortable in me, and I love what I do, and this is right, channeling and working with people, love helping everyone, and I feel so satisfied when I am able to assist somebody on their journey and their path. It's just beautiful, and I really thought I thought, well, okay, that's great. So what the heck was I doing in politics, And when I woke up every night for 3 weeks at 3 o'clock in the morning with lots of information about the campaign, how we should run it, what should come, what was going on, what was going to happen. When I had all that happen, I started to get little bit messages here and there and throughout the campaign. And so I participated in a lot of ways from home doing my stuff. I created meditations around it, healings around it. I also did protection, and I, participated in events here in Connecticut. And during that time, it occurred to me that part of my mission is to become a spiritual activist, if you will, and participate in the way that I was trained. I guess that's the way to word it, but I don't know if that's the appropriate word. But I feel like I was supposed to do this. And this is actually one of the missions that my twin and I will be doing when we're together. We'll be working to change the world in this way together. And what it looks like and how it exactly will be, I'm not totally certain. But I do know that there is a political piece to it, because his background is political science also. We both have the same degrees. And although he is a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer. I did go to school. I did want to do my JDMSW, start the program, and I was like, yeah, not me anymore, because I had all these dead people talking to me and all these angels and spirit guides and stuff showing up, and I was like, yeah, this is so not me. I want to do what I'm enjoying. So I left that whole world. I digress. So I'll come back. So our mission involves being active politically. So I'm sharing this because I think there's many of you that are light workers that perhaps you're in your area, you are supposed to be standing up for something you believe in. It might not be exactly what I'm doing, and it might not be exactly what others are doing, but there might be something that you are here to do. And I'm not saying I want to change that. You are here to do something. I don't want to use the word might, because you are here for something. So as a global thing, Twin Flames are here to bring love. We are here to anchor in this new divine love, divine unconditional. And I emphasize the word unconditional. We'll talk about that again at another point. And I would like to do some more videos, and hopefully I'll get more out to you. But the divine unconditional love that we're here to anchor and bring on the planet is huge. Big deal. That's our overall umbrella encompassing reason that we're here. But there's little bits and pieces that each of us have brought here that we've come in with to fix and change and alter and to create and transform. And so for me, I'm drawn to many things, like, the climate change issue, really big deal. I'm worried about the earth. I've always been connected to the earth. I've always been involved in earth stuff. And actually, one of my big protesting things was to bring in awareness, the green energy, green living. Back when I was in college, I actually did a whole thing, started recycling on my college. I know that sounds crazy, but I've been out of school for many years. So back in the early 90s, very early 90s, like 90, 1990, I focused on bringing recycling in, because that was such a big deal. I know it sounds crazy, again, because we've been doing some recycling for these years, but the truth is that nobody had an awareness, or they weren't doing it, and I felt like it was really important. It's still an important thing to me that we take care of the earth, and the banning fracking, all that stuff. That's so important to me. So that is another mission of mine, like working with the earth and healing the earth. And the other one is to get democracy back and actually make it be democracy. And so when I was down in Philadelphia, I met amazing light beings, and they might not be light workers in the sense of like doing what I do, or I consider my light workers group a collective of healers, shamans, yoga people, earth angels, people who are mystics, and I think I said healers, but that kind of energy, that's what I consider light workers. But the truth is that these people that I met with were light workers. They just didn't do those things. They were light workers in their own right, in the world that they work in the world they live in. They bring the light, and they are true light workers. And so our mission as Twin Flames is to anchor love, bring love. And it got me to thinking about how we're here longing and waiting for our twin. And the truth is that and I'm guilty of this too, please understand. Um, we're longing and waiting for our twin. And I know I'm still living. I hadn't been, to be honest with you, for a few years because of my car accident. I was really sick, and I had very poor care. I didn't have health insurance when I first had it, so that was a big deal for me. And it took a long time to recover from that car accident. There's a lot involved in it. There's dark energies involved, all these other things that were involved in it as well. But I was really in that place of kind of waiting for him. And I feel like the message I got recently was to keep going, because he is going to join me on this mission. This is who he is too. He's not separate from me. And for all of you, you know, focusing and waiting solely on your twin and bringing all your focus to him or her is not going to be beneficial to what our missions are, because our mission involves doing what we're meant to do while we're here. And I'm not saying that we don't do healing with them, we don't do work with them energetically and etherically, because every day I do something with my twin. But on the human level, I need to bring light to every aspect of my life. I need to keep living. And, it occurred to me as an epiphany while I was away. Not once was my twin separate from me. It's funny, I haven't talked to him all month, actually, and it kind of makes me sad that I haven't spoken to him for about a month. I did speak to him. I did pray and asked to please hear his voice before I left. It's almost like I needed to hear it so I would feel it almost tangibly. And I literally got a 4 to 7 minute phone conversation with him the night before I left for Philadelphia. And he said, "I'll call you back," and he didn't. But he was also in a really dark place himself. After we hung up, I felt like the sadness well up in me, and I knew it wasn't me. I knew it was him, and I know he's going through something. I also know that there's a part of him that's afraid to bring that to me and tell me what he's going through, because he wants to be the man, the strong one in this relationship. And so, hearing his voice is what I needed and what I asked for. I didn't say, "Oh, let me see him before I go." I probably should have specified that. But I did have, I'm sorry, I'm itchy and weird allergies in my house right now. I did ask to hear his voice, and hearing his voice gave me that little kick, if you will. So all weekend when I was doing my work, and not 1 minute did I not feel him by me. And did I not see his name everywhere I went? Absolutely. Did I not see little messages here and there? Absolutely. But my focus wasn't on him. I mean, in my heart it's always there, but it wasn't on him. It was on doing what I came here to do. And for many reasons, it was uplifting, wonderful, and amazing. And then when I had the last day before I came home, I finally got to sleep in a little bit, because normally I was up at 5, and I slept, I think, until 7. And so I got up, I had a little leisurely morning before I did breakfast, and was able to do my really full meditation and grounding with him. And I was so beautiful. There was so much love in that room, that where I was staying, they had a dog, and the dog literally tried to climb into my lap, almost climb into me. It was really wild, really cool. And it made me realize how much love we still have. It doesn't mean we have to be thinking every moment of them and worrying about how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, will I see him, will I won't see him. Because when we do that, I think we take away from who we are. We take away from our intention, our mission. So my intention is to be married to my twin, to be with my twin, and to have love with him fully in this lifetime, and have babies with him. And my human self says, "Oh, you're getting older. How are you going to have babies?" Because I'm getting past the age. It's getting, time has gone by, and I'm not the optimum age that people like to have babies. I'm at the age where people are starting to not want to have babies and totally just kind of relax with the rest of their life. And anyway, I that's my intention, is to have that. And I think to keep that intention and to raise that intention with vibrational frequency is to keep remembering that's my intention, but live my life so that I'm happy and enjoy. And I feel like that's what the hummingbird was saying by coming over at this moment when I looked over to the window and saw it out of the corner of my eye. I feel like our job is to keep in high vibrational frequency and keep going forward. And I think being in Philadelphia actually opened me more to my mission that will be my mission with my twin, but it is my mission right now. So I can't wait for my twin to enjoy my mission and start it. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is if you know what you're supposed to do with your twin, well, do what you can now as you, as the part of you that is ready for the union, because as you're doing it, I feel like we'll emit this energy out that will draw them back into us in a stronger way and in a more tangible way for them, where being in the spiritual world, I know for my twin, he thinks I'm wacky, and he'll say that, but he's very open to what I do. He's very accepting and loving about what I do, but he'll say it's wacky. And I said one day, I was really upset. I'm like, why do you say that to me? What is that about? And his words to me were, it's not that I don't respect you. And he goes, if I didn't, I wouldn't be talking to you if I didn't agree with any of that. He goes, I just don't understand it. It's just different than what I'm used to. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. And now when I'm thinking about it, being a spiritual activist, being a very active person in government right now and bringing democracy, awareness to democracy and how we need to be standing in our truth. By doing that, he can understand that tangibly. So that's understandable. So I feel like in some ways that might draw him in more to understand us together, because I'm very spiritual and he's a lawyer. and I say that and I laugh and I joke, and I'm not saying that lawyers can't be spiritual. I'm not saying that lawyers can't be open-minded and are not necessarily willing to be spiritual, but I say that because when you're a lawyer, when you're in that kind of profession, you're in your head a lot and you think all the time. And I'm not saying he's not intuitive, because believe me, he's very intuitive and his gut is always on. And when he listens to his gut, he does extremely well. And you really can't be a powerful attorney if you don't have your intuition working, because you have to be on at all times. But from a consciousness level, he's more in his head than he is in his heart, which gets him stuck. And hell, that's why we're still not together, because he's getting stuck in his head, not his heart. And my prayer is that he gets stuck in his heart. And my prayer is actually all of us. We all get stuck in our heart, because that's where we need to be. No matter what changes are coming, what's happening, it's so imperative that we stay and remain in our heart. So when you start to get scared or worried, remind yourself, find a trigger that's going to remind you, imagine it, create it, and live it, that you are you're not in your heart, you're in your head. I have a friend that I was talking with yesterday, and she was giving me information about her situation, and every time I catch her and I'm like, you're so not in your heart. You're going from an egoic perspective. You're trying to control things. You're in your head. When you go in your heart, you don't try to control. You just let everything flow. You allow everything to happen the way it's supposed to, and you don't get worried. You just trust it. But when you get into your head, it's very egoic. And yes, our ego is there to protect us and to bring us balance at times. But the truth is that if we get stuck in our head, we lose sight of our truth, because our truth always comes from our heart. And I don't know, I just want you all to witness your truth in your heart and coming up from your heart into your reality, because from that point forward we can make the changes. Okay, so that's my long-winded way of coming to this point that I wanted to make, again, about intention. So my guides told me the month of July was all about the new moon in July was all about transformation. Usually it's new beginnings. They told me very clearly it's about transformation and changes. And we're coming to the close of July. It's July 30th. And I feel like we are closing out cycles, like literally closing out old cycles. So old patterns, old behaviors, old cycles, old relationships, old jobs, all that stuff we're coming into a close, because all that transformation happened this month. All the transformation occurred. And as my guides had mentioned earlier in the month, the transformation happened, that we won't necessarily see it or know it or understand it until like 1 to 3 months later. And so I want you to know it happened. The transformation occurred. It happened. And maybe we were looking for big flashing lights to say, it's here, it's here, it's here. Transformation, transformation, transformation. But that's not what's happening. Instead, you're getting very clear guidance that we made it through the shifting. The transformation has happened. And we're now getting ready to close out what does not fall into alignment with that transformation. That means friendships. That means relationships. That means all kinds of things are going to go to the wayside. I don't know how long it's going to take. I want to say that we're going to be doing that now, going forward. But a lot of closure is happening this weekend. And what is coming up next is August 2nd is our new moon. I will do another video. I will do a reading for the new moon. I'll pull cards. But this message I just felt like needed to come out, because if you get caught up in the endings, you get caught up in the fear, and you get caught up in the worries, then you can't hold your intention for you and your twin to come together, because your intention for you and your twin to come together doesn't have, or you don't want it to have fears and worries attached anywhere around that. I love the word that my guides used when they looked into my aura and I had sludge on me. They said I had some sludge on me because of entering into Philadelphia. There's some dark energies there. And so clearing out some of the sludge in my aura, if you're doing an intention, it's not clear and pure if you have sludge on it. And so the sludge is like the worry, the attachment, the doubt, the fear. And it's a great message that I'm giving to you today, because it's making me remember my message and what I need to be doing and how my focus needs to be, because it happened. The transformation happened. What does it look like? What's it going to mean? I don't know. But I do know this, that every one of us has undergone tremendous transformation over this last month. And it's starting from inside out. And you will start to see what's going on in the next 1 to 3 months. And whether you're noticing it or not, know it is happening. It's happening for you, whether you're in contact with your twin or not. It's happening for your twin. Your beloved is actually receiving the same frequency and vibration that you are. So it's not that they can't. They may not maintain it as often as you do, and you may not maintain it very often. The thing is to always raise your vibration in joy and abundance frequency. Because when you're in that joy and abundance frequency, you bring more to you. And abundance isn't about money. It's about abundance of everything: love, happiness, peace, joy, hope, friendships. So I just encourage all of you to stay in your heart, stay on this journey, and that's a message I'm giving myself, because quite honestly, the last couple of days, I've come off the high of being in the democracy energy and the protesting, the standing up for what I believe in, and I was in the high. And so the last couple of days I've come off of it, and my vibration, I'm a little tired and I'm recovering, and I feel this like heaviness, but I feel like it's everyone's heaviness. Like, at least the people I've been connected to, they're disappointed, they're sad that Bernie Sanders is not the Democratic nominee. But again, that's a whole nother story, what I believe about the Democratic Party and all that stuff about the Bernie Sanders stuff. If you're interested, you can follow me on my Facebook. You can follow me in the Lightworkers group. You can Lightworkers for Bernie group. You can follow me on my blog, aprildomato.blogspot.com, and I'll be sharing information about all that stuff. But in terms of us and being a twin flame on this journey, there's a lot of heaviness out there, and so I was losing it myself. I was starting to feel like doubtful, because when I got back, the one person I wanted to share everything with was my twin. And it was like probably the first time in a very long time that I was really disappointed that he wasn't around. He didn't return my calls or my emails. And I don't think it was intentional. I think he's in his own thing, like I said earlier. But it made me question whether I should stay on this path or not. And I woke up renewed, with renewed hope this morning. And with the message I just gave to you, it was coming through me and through to you. So when it does that, it hits me. I allow myself to receive it more clearly, and I don't want to give up yet. Not ready. Not ready. Transformation happened, and hold the intention and have faith. So, one of the things that I intend and I choose to manifest is reunion with my twin flame into this present life. Reunion with my twin flame for the best and highest good of everyone on this planet. And I intend and manifest the love I've been waiting for. It's here now. I'm trusting and opening to that. So I wish you all the best. I send love to you, and I hope that this message was helpful to you. And I hope that you can spark your spirit to do what it is you're meant to do on this path, and that you will connect with Light Tribe and other love tribe that is here on the planet looking for you too, because we're all trying to find each other. So I'm here. I'm in Connecticut. If you are, reach out to me and talk with me, and let's connect, because we need to connect with one another. And I want to connect with everybody around. So I feel like the time is coming for me to travel again, and I'm going to open my heart and my mind and spirit to the possibilities and whatever that means for me on this journey, and whatever it may mean for my twin and I. I do feel like the time is coming. I just don't know when, but it's coming. And we need to be ready. And so stay in that high vibe, high frequency, and high manifestation. Namaste and love to you all.